Live, trance, and prosper. Hi, I'm Professor David Phillips, and we're going to have a little video. This is going to be quick and easy. I'm talking about the game Elven Assassin. It's a fun VR game where you shoot orcs with bows, because you are an elf and you are an assassin. Which really makes no sense. The game, you're not an assassin. You're essentially defending places from orcs. You're a soldier. But you're really good. You're a marksman, an elven marksman with a bow. Well, okay, depending on you. Some of you are wonderful and can no problem. Some of you are the opposite of wonderful and do a thing called suck. However, sometimes the suckage is not your fault. Sometimes it's the fault of the game. If you have an Oculus Rift S or an Oculus Quest playing the PC version of the game via the link cable, which is my preference right now, you may have difficulty because sometimes the controllers, when you knock your arrow, it doesn't knock. Come on, dude. I played the game with the PC before using the Vive. If you check out my videos, you can. There's several of them on my YouTube channel for 3D VR and all that goodness. The tracking with the Vive is excellent, and the knocking of the arrows is no problem. I've played the game with the Windows Mixed Reality headset. No problem. But many people playing with the Oculus Rift S or the Oculus Quest via the link cable have trouble in that the arrows don't knock correctly. And so you end up confused and you have to go really slow. Now, some folks say, well, it's a tracking issue with the Oculus headsets because the Oculus Rift S and the Oculus Quest are both inside-out tracking, and sometimes it just doesn't see it correctly. Except the Windows Mixed Reality headsets are also inside-out. They only have 2 tracking cameras, and they do better. It's not a tracking issue with the Rift S or with the Quest using the link cable. It's a configuration problem for your controller bindings. Now, there's a very helpful article in the discussions on the Steam community regarding this issue and how you can fix it for the Rift S. Now, I followed those guidelines, and they're very good, and I'll put a link in the description on the video, but they don't work so well for the Oculus Quest using the link cable, and some people with the Rift S also have trouble following the directions. So what I'm going to do is walk you through it and give you my version, so to speak, of how to handle it if you cannot follow the original discussion or guide on Steam community discussions for Elven Assassin. Once more, I will put the link to the original that I followed in the description to this video. But let's get to it. First thing you do, plug in your headset. Make sure your Rift S or your Oculus Quest is connected via the link cable. Plug in your headset. Now, once you've done that, according to the original description, the original guide, once you've done that, you right-click on your Steam VR icon, and you'll get this pop-up and hit Settings. Okay? Well, you do that, and then you hit Manage Controller Bindings under Steam VR Settings. Now, so far so good. Most folks can get this far. Here we get to the tricky part. Under Manage Controller Bindings, hit Elven Assassin. Now, this is on the PC. This is not inside the headset. According to the original guide, you don't put on your headset yet. You just manage controller bindings for, choose from this drop-down, Elven Assassin, and change this active controller binding from default, hit custom, and then click on edit the binding, edit this binding. That's where you're going to have an issue. All right. For the Oculus Quest, both for me, for myself, using the link cable, and for friends, can't hit that, can't edit it. Just doesn't work. So we have to do something else. So what do we do to get this far? All right. Pick up your controllers, your touch controllers. Now, as you know, on the right controller, there is a button. That's your Oculus button. You're going to want to use the left controller, and that's a menu button. Click on that while you're in the game. So go into Elven Assassin. From now on, we're going to do this in the headset, except I'm not. I'm going to talk you through what you need to do. So take notes. Click the menu button in-game. And in Elven Assassin, when you click on that menu button, you'll see something for binders or controller binding. Click on that. You do that by pointing your controller. There's a light, make sure it hits that. Once you've done that, then you can get into the next part. Okay, and here you can see that we've got left controller, left Oculus Touch, right Oculus Touch. Now, when I play Elven Assassin, I hold my bow in my left hand, my right hand, I knock the arrows. If you're left-handed and hold in the right, the bow in the right, and you use your arrows are held in the left, then you follow the opposite of what I'm about to tell you. The original guide, by the way, is for left-handers. So if you're right-handed and following the original guide, you're going to have to tweak things the way I had to, because I am right-handed and I shoot my arrows with the right hand on the, right? So you got left and right. Now what you want to do is you want to go over here to where it says trigger on the right touch, or your dominant hand, We are now editing the controller bindings. Now, don't worry about this. This graphic, that's just the original touch controllers for the Oculus Rift. It is not the touch controllers for the Quest or the Rift S. The graphic's wrong, but don't worry about it. This system works. You've got your Rift S or your Quest plugged in, so it's good. Okay, now, click on this little plus guy for the trigger, okay, on your dominant hand, and delete everything under there. There should be a little trash can that shows up and things like that. And once you have deleted it, it'll say unused here. And so click on the edit for that, and for use right Oculus Touch trigger as button. The original will have said trigger. Use the trigger. Use it as a trigger, and it has all the stuff that you do with it. Like, for instance, over here on the left touch, it says use as trigger, use as trigger, and it says what happens when press, touch, or value. Okay, but we're over here and we deleted everything. We hit the hello and trash can and we deleted everything. And so now, after we hit the edit button, or the edit, and you need to make sure that your controller, that little light, that little circle at the end of the light, it has to touch the trash can, and it'll ask you, do you want to delete? So do that. I'm sorry, I couldn't record this in the headset. Many people's setups, and mine included, can't capture the menu screens because I don't have my computer set up to mirror everything. And so I'm going through what is essentially the screen captures from the PC. But the process is pretty much the same in the headset, and that's where you're going. So click that little plus guy, delete everything under trigger, because it's going to say use as trigger. We don't want use as trigger, and it'll leave something that says unused now. Now click on the edit unused or the plus on the unused, and instead of trigger for the right touch controller, press button. So button, okay? Make sure you're using it as a button. And once you've selected that, then we go in and you'll have trigger, your right touch controller. See, there's the little trash can guy. Click, touch, and more options. Leave click and touch alone. I know over here it has click and touch and pull, but we want click, touch, leave them alone, and hit more options. So click on that more options. And once you've hit more options, you're going to see single, double, long, held, and touch. So where this is under button, not trigger, which is click, touch, pull. So button, you've got single, double, long, held, and touch. Click on this none right here next to held. None. Held. Click on that and you'll get another pop-up. What pop-up looks like? Why, that pop-up looks like this. These choices, you can choose from all these choices. And don't forget, there's a scroll down guy and hit right trigger press. So choose right trigger press here. Okay. Once you've chosen that, you'll see you've got none, 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 and held right trigger press. Okay, that's great. And once you've got that over here, click on this, the cog. The cog is the input settings. Make sure this pop-up, after you click the cog, make sure this pop-up, everything is set to default. Okay. It should look something like this. If you're not sure, just reset everything to default and then close it. And once you've done that, save it. Save it, go back into your game and play. And you will immediately, you should find that, hey, I can do fast shooting now. Whereas before I had to be really careful and hope that I would knock my arrow correctly. Now it knocks beautifully. You're going to miss a lot of orcs because you suck, but that's on you. That's not on me. That's your problem, and you'll be great. You'll do great, okay, or you won't. That depends on you. But at least you don't have that real weird wobble arrow. And that, my friends, is how to change your Rift S or your Oculus Quest using the link cable to change the bindings. Okay. Now, don't worry. Everything you've just done only affects Elven Assassin. It does not change other games. Just Elven Assassin. For the Quest via link or the Oculus Rift S, whichever you have changed. So you have saved a custom binding, and that's what you'll use from now on, and it'll be beautiful. Now you can always go back. You can always go back to the legacy or the original, not the custom. You can always change that again and go back to how it was before. But of course you won't do that because before it sucked, and now it plays wonderfully. I hope this has been helpful to you. I know it really helped me, and genuinely so grateful to have found a solution. I hope this solution works for you. Be sure to click that like, and if you're not already a subscriber, hey, it doesn't hurt. It's YouTube. What could happen? subscribe, and I'll have more videos, and you can check that out. And ring the bell when you subscribe so that you can get notices when we have new videos. Wouldn't that be special? Oh, yes, it would be. Oh, so special. This is Professor Brian David Phillips. I hope you enjoy that. And please comment below. Tell me, hey, dude, this worked. Or, hey, dude, this did not work. Actually, if you have questions about it, I genuinely don't know much about binding. Go to the Steam community page and ask there. Maybe somebody can help you out. Or on Reddit, or the Discord. They do have a Discord for Elven Assassin. Elven Assassin, by the way, came out for the Oculus Quest dedicated, so the standalone version. So maybe you like that. Honestly, I have both the PC and the Quest version because I'm the opposite of not an idiot. And I don't really like the Quest version as much because the arrows, they don't line up as well. I don't like how they've aligned them. I prefer using the system on the PC. It looks better on the PC too, but that's not why I prefer it. I do play games on the Quest in standalone mode using the mobile system because I like that without having cable and things like that. But and it's just easier to set up. You just pick it up and you play. And so even if the graphics aren't as cool, I'll still use it that way. However, the PC version of Elven Assassin, I think, is superior. Even though it's a pain in the buttocks in terms of having a cable on your back of your headset trying to play. Simply because you do play this game. It is not a sitting game. It's a turning around game. You have to do a lot of changing of position, and sometimes your cable gets in the way. But of course, we all have to deal with that. So, hey, there's that. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit like, hit subscribe, comment, ring the bell, and go out there and slaughter some orcs. Defend your human village friends, your human friends in the human village. Defend the elven village, and of course, defend the other places in the game. Multiplayer is a lot of fun for this. Check out my other videos on how to do the magic spells and all that stuff. For now, though, this is Professor Brian David Phillips saying, live, trance, and prosper. Bye-bye.